But what do the results mean for the official opposition? Let's dig deeper with Fred DeLorey, who managed the 2021 Conservative campaign under Erin O'Toole and last year was executive chair of Patrick Brown's leadership campaign. He's now managing partner at DeLorey Public Affairs. Fred, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, you write that these results are a jarring wake-up call for the Conservative Party of Canada, even though when you take the bird's eye view, we still have the status quo in terms of the 2 Liberal seats and the 2 Conservative seats not changing hands. Why do you think there are some red flags here?
Well, the biggest thing with by-elections are they are opportunities for the official opposition to grow. That is always the standard you look at. It is a way to vote against the government without changing the government. There's no risk to it. So you tend to get an increase in vote for the official opposition, whatever party that may be. And in this case, not just these 4, but if you go back to the fall, there was another by-election in Mississauga Lakeshore. Of those 5 by-elections, 4 of them we have gone down in support. We're going the wrong direction. If we want to be able to replace the Liberals, and that is what we want to do in the next general election, we have to show that we can actually grow our vote and not lose it.
Okay, so how much should we read into by-election results, though? Because, you know, often we talk about there's not a lot of turnout. Leaders sometimes get involved in these campaigns. When you look at the numbers from last night, what stands out for you in these 4 ridings?
Yeah, well, I think by-elections are actually way more important and better indicators of trends than any of the broad national polls that you see. It actually tells us people are actually going to the ballot box and casting their ballots now. And what we're seeing again was a downturn in Conservative vote, which is problematic. The Liberals have had arguably the worst 3 months of any government I've seen in a long time. They took a real pounding in the House, and it didn't show in the polls, though. Their vote went up in a number of ridings.
So, you know, a more optimistic Conservative might say, look, on our right flank, we reduced the PPC support in Portage-Lisgar. We defeated Maxime Bernier again. And we only lost a few percentage points in Oxford, Ontario, despite all of the discord among Conservatives over that nomination. What do you think about that?
It's a tremendous risk to be fighting for that right-wing vote, because what does it cost us in centre Canada? We did go after it. The Conservatives ran a very aggressive campaign. They had their candidate talking about conversion therapy. They attacked Maxime Bernier for wearing a Pride Parade T-shirt. A lot of different things there that would not play well in other ridings, and I think the Liberals now have a treasure trove of stuff to attack us on as well. So there's a risk here. You can go for the right, and there's a lot of the Conservatives who think you need to go and eat that PPC vote back. It cost us 4 to 5 seats in the last election, so it did impact us. But how many seats does it impact us on the other side of it is going to be the question.
Okay, and I want to talk about what the results looked like in cities last night, because your former leader, Erin O'Toole, in leaving Parliament last week, you know, he left with this warning that the Conservatives, at the end of the day, they need to have more votes in those urban and suburban ridings. In 2021, you did make some gains, but not enough to win a lot of seats in the GTA, for instance. So what stands out for you when you look at Winnipeg and Montreal? Yeah,
well, our vote dropped. And again, if we want to replace the Liberals, we need to be increasing our vote, not dropping it. And this is a time when, you know, official opposition parties, governments shouldn't win by-elections, official opposition should. So to not even tighten it up, but to actually retreat and to do poorly is not a good indicator.
Okay, so let's talk about the leader then, Pierre Poilievre. How do you think his leadership style over the past 9 months plays into the results that we saw last night?
Well, look, his numbers are not good right now. His personal numbers, his negatives are very high, and they're increasing. They've doubled almost, they've almost doubled in the past year as negatives based on national polling. He has a major problem with women voters. I've never seen anyone, legitimate candidate for prime minister, have such a negative with one of the genders so poorly. So they're going to have to figure that out, how they can improve that, because if you have that high of a negative, it's going to be very hard to get people to vote for you.
However, though, you know, most recent polls at the party level, at least, do have the Conservatives under Mr. Poilievre ahead of the Liberals, and you've argued that the Conservative message on inflation and affordability, I should say, that it's resonating, that the party has been strong recently on foreign interference. So why do you think there's this disparity then in terms of how the party's polling and what we're seeing on the leader?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the party's success is, I think, a lot of people parking their vote with us right now. They're not happy with the Liberals. We're seeing that. There's a lot of dissatisfaction with the government, and people want change. So it's easy when you're doing a poll to park that vote with us. But like I said earlier, when you go to the ballot box to cast a ballot, it's a very different thing. And that's where the Conservatives need to smooth the edges here. It's something we've been working on for a while in a number of elections. Until we do that, it'll be very hard to succeed.
Okay. We could be more than 2 years away from a federal election, but perhaps not. We don't know in a minority parliament. We are about to head into the summer barbecue season. Parliament is wrapping up, so we won't have that daily debate for the Conservatives in question period. What are you going to be watching for with Mr. Poilievre and with the party as a whole as we head into the summer barbecue season and eventually to the Conservative convention this fall?
So Mr. Poilievre, one thing to his credit, he's bringing in massive crowds wherever he goes. I've never seen that before, too. Mr. Trudeau, when he was first elected leader, was bringing in big crowds, but it feels like Poilievre's bringing in bigger ones, and they're fired up. What's going to be interesting is what is his message to this crowd? Is he still talking about global conspiracies, the Great Reset? Is he talking about those issues? If he is, it's not going to resonate with mainstream Canada. He needs to really focus. If he focuses on the issues you talked about, like inflation and housing and those sort of things, those are winning issues for us if we focus on that and not this other stuff.
Okay, Fred DeLorey, we have to leave it there for now, but thanks for this.
Thanks for having me on.